Well, good morning, everybody, on this beautiful Tuesday from the East Coast. And we are here live on this Giving Tuesday. We are so excited to be here, part of our D3Day that we are trying to do. And we've got an entire packed show filled with celebrity guests and people that work in baseball and our own families of campers and everything. And if you look over here in this upper corner, you're going to see a QR code. That means you can take your cell phone, you can go right on it, and you can make a donation that is going to go right to the Disability Dream and Do folks. And without further ado, let me bring in my co-host for today, and that would be Doug Cornfield, who has been a part of this thing almost from day one with Dave, Clark, and Doug. We got a full show today. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it should be great, and I appreciate you hosting this with all your Emmys. I don't know how many of them you have there in the background, but it's pretty cool to have a 7-time Emmy Award winner host our Disability Dream and Do Giving Tuesday. We've never done this before. So for a great response.
We haven't, and we have so many people that are going to be a part of this today, and I want to bring in one right now, right off the top, because he goes way back with us. This is legendary baseball man, former GM of many teams. He's been a part of baseball for I don't know how many years, and he's still dabbling in it now. Steve Gliner joining us. Steve, thanks for being a part of our Giving Tuesday for D3Day.
Of course, always a pleasure to hang with you guys. How are you both doing today?
We're doing great. And Steve, take us back to those initial days from, the uncertainty of trying to create an event like this, trying to do the things that we've tried to do kind of outside the box thinking. And if it wasn't for you and the miracle of the muscle or whatever they bounced around so many times with their names, we wouldn't be still doing this to this day. So tell us a little bit apart of where that started.
Sure. Well, back in 2006, I got a letter from Mike Veck, who was one of the owners of the Miracle at the time. And basically it was a letter that was in this envelope, and all it said on the outside of the letter was "call this guy." And I was like, okay. So I read the letter. It was from Dave Clark to Mike, asking about doing camps of this nature with the minor league baseball teams that were in the group at the time. And so Dave was living in Cape Coral, Florida, which was across the bridge from where I was in Fort Myers. Dave is still there to this day. And I gave him a call. And so we had a meeting a few weeks later. And I would say probably
putting on our first D3Day camp
couple
here.
Of weeks, we probably didn't, the first couple of days, rather, the first couple of hours of the meeting probably was just talking about life and just both our backgrounds and everything. I got to learn about who Dave was and what he had done in his career and in his life. And at the end of this 2-hour conversation, Dave turns to me and he says, "Hey, you ever consider doing a baseball camp with kids with disabilities and special needs?" And I remember looking at him saying, I wouldn't even know where to start. And he says, "Well, how about if we do this together?" And I said, "I'd love that," because I really never thought about doing something like that. And I immediately thought it would be just an amazing opportunity to give back and be a part of something special. So after we kind of agreed on that, I went and met with Kevin Bowles, who was our manager at the time. And Bowlesy's still managing to this day in professional baseball. And I asked Bowlesy, I said, "Hey, we want to try this baseball camp out, and I was hoping we can get maybe a half a dozen players to help us out with that." And he goes, "Stop right there." He goes, "No." And I'm like, "What do you mean no?" And he goes, "No, we're going to have the entire team there for this event." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Much better. And that's what to his word, that's what happened. We scheduled the camp. I think it was maybe in May. And the entire team, except for the starting pitcher that night, was there. And we just kind of winged it, to be honest. I remember it not really kind of knowing what I was getting into there. And Dave just kept reassuring me. He said, let's just roll with this. It's going to be great. Don't worry about it. Let's not, pressure the players too much. Let them go out and just have a good time and just play ball with the kids. And that's what they did. And I could tell you, I was hooked from the moment we did that event. And I say to this day, it's the best event we do all year, hands down, without any doubt. Everybody who takes part in a D3Day, if they go into it maybe a little bit nervous about it, like, how am I going to do this? What is my role going to be? At the end of the event, without question, players, coaches, front office members, they all come up and they all say, "Wow, That's the coolest thing I've ever done. Thank you for including me. You know, when are we doing this again? So that just kind of gives you an idea of just the impact, not only on the families and the kids that take part, but the folks that are on the other side that are helping to implement the whole thing. So it's just been amazing. So, you know, we're almost 20 years since we first did this together, and just an amazing thing all the way around.
It truly is. And Dave Clark, I mean, your thoughts on Steve Gliner and what he has done to make this thing still going after, 20 years?
Dave's obviously mouthing, so
There we go.
There we go. There you go.
You got me now?
Yeah.
I was saying he's the absolute worst general manager I've ever dealt with.
That's why I'm not doing that anymore. See?
Our last D3Day.
No, actually, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe we go back 20 years. And I remember very well that conversation in Steve's office, and I remember where I was. I was on the street in St. Petersburg, Florida, when I got a call from Steve telling me he was leaving Fort Myers and going to upstate New York. And I was like, oh, man. But when he got to Hudson Valley, it was back to Doug and I, and want to do it here in Hudson Valley with that time the Tampa Bay Rays minor league club. And so thus was born the Hudson Valley camp up in New York State. And that, too, has become a really, really good event up there. I still to this day, they're all good. Every one of them is good. It's like, for me, it's like a hockey game. There's great hockey games. None of them are ever bad, but some are better than others. And I still remember, I can't remember quite what year it was, but I don't know what they fed the Hudson Valley players that day, but that camp was over the top with enthusiasm, and it radiated out to the participants and the parents and the caregivers, and just a great day, and it continues to be a great day up there. So meeting Steve down here in Fort Myers is a highlight for me, and we've remained not just business partners, but good friends, and it means a lot to me.
And it means a lot to have all of you guys here today being a part of this amazing show. For those of us that are just joining us, it's Giving Tuesday, and we need you to help us because, as Steve knows, these things aren't free. We get food, we get everything for these kids, equipment, bats, balls, all kinds of stuff, and it's not all donated, and we do have to pay for it, and that's why it's so important for our days today, like today, Giving Tuesday. You got the QR code right over here. All you got to do is take your cell phone, jump on that. If you're not technically challenged, just go to D3Day.com. There is a link for that. And, we are just trying to talk today about what these camps are, the importance of what they mean to people. And again, so many people that have crossed paths with us. In fact, if you guys stand by, I've got a former major league player who wanted to come in. He couldn't be here live, but he did want to stop by and talk a little bit about D3Day.
Hey everybody, Doug Minkiewicz here. Just want to tell a couple stories about my experience and the D3Day experience, the camps we used to run. I was fortunate enough to manage the Fort Myers Miracle in Fort Myers, Florida. And every year we would have a camp day. And after experiencing it throughout the years, I realized how lucky we were to be able to spend some time with the young kids, the kids, the boys, the girls, the parents, Dave Clark, Doug Cornfield, Dave Stevens. Dave took BP with us, but the kids, my players, a little backstory, most players in pro ball don't want to give up their mornings. They play every night. They don't get a lot of the luxuries that the major leaguers do. So generally you have 19 to 24-year-old grumpy, tired age men out there, but not this day. I know for the guys that I had repeated the level and got to do this camp back-to-back years, whether they moved up or whether they stayed in Fort Myers with us, we all looked forward to this. And I remember talking to Dave one day, just saying how much I saw a change in my own players. To be able to spend the day with these kids, and some of these kids we had stand with us during the national anthem, throw out first pitches, they'd play catch during batting practice. These were friendships that were made because of this event and because of us having a chance to spend, a very small amount of time in their lives. And they made a huge impact on me, our players. Our players had a better perspective of where they were and where they were going from being around these kids. And I know it, being out there and just running around with them and seeing the joy on their face. Our guys talked about it for years. Now that I'm not managing, I still talk to some of them, and some of them still bring up those days. This organization is amazing. I am grateful to be able to have a small part in it. I know wherever I went, I tried to bring some sort of day like this. It's real easy in today's world to feel sorry for yourself. Spend a couple hours with these kids, and it'll change your outlook on life. It'll change your outlook of how you feel about yourself and how fortunate we all are. The smiles on their faces are just absolutely priceless. Like I said, I took some to home plate with me throughout the years, getting to spend time with them, play catch with them, whatever it is. I know that, like I said, we're all very grateful and thankful for men like you and this organization, and we'll forever be grateful for what you've done for us and what you do for those kids. This doesn't get enough notoriety, and hopefully we can change that, because it is such a special day. It's a special event. You guys are, you should be praised, and the list goes on and on. I can't say it enough. I'm grateful and honored to call you a friend, and honored to be a part of it any way I can. So sorry I can't be there, but I just wanted to relay this message and say thank you. And I think I speak for all the guys that I managed. Our time spent with those kids will forever be remembered, and how much they meant to us.
Wow,
Hey everybody, Doug Minkiewicz here.
Oh,
just want to tell a couple stories.
We are back, and that was awesome of Doug to give us that note. Steve, what are your memories of Doug and him getting so much out of that as a manager?
Online here we go. Just want to he really hit the nail on the head. I mean, and to his point where he talks about the impact on the players, I know you and Dave both go into the clubhouse and give the little rah-rah speech before we go out on the field, and yeah, it's hard. Professional baseball players, they had a game the night before. They were up late. They were there early that morning, and sometimes you have to motivate. Everybody needs to be a little motivated when they get into, to start their day and get involved in something. And but to Doug's point, as soon as the players got out there and saw what this was all about after listening to you both tell them about it, they just lit up immediately, and you could just tell how impactful it was and how meaningful it was to them, and how much fun they were having, really. And I think that's the great part of it. It takes them usually about 10 minutes to loosen up, and then once they finally see what this is all about, and that there's really no pressure, and it's just go out and have a good time and just have some fun and play ball with the kids and their family members. They just get right into it. And Doug was just amazing to work with. He really understood what this was all about. And, to Dave's point, when we started this with the Twins back in Fort Myers, I personally worked with the Twins for all those years, and then here with the Tampa Bay Rays for a few years, and now with the Yankees. And all three of those organizations really understand what it means to give back to the communities that they play in. And they really do a great job of doing that. And this is just one of the events that they take part in throughout the year, but it's definitely probably one of the most impactful ones that they take part in.
Well, we are so glad you spent some time with us, Steve. And again, your contributions to what Dave's idea, it's really taken off. And that's why we are able to go around the country to Florida and Connecticut and San Jose and all of the new places that want us to be there. So again, thank you so much for your time. And again, it's Giving Tuesday. So if you see the QR code right up there in the corner, we need you to click on it and check it out. It takes you right to a link where anything is appreciated. $5, $10, $20, $2,000. I don't care. Heck, if you $2,000, I'll come speak at your school for free. If you guys want to do something like that, we are available to talk. So Steve, thank you so much. Best of luck in the off season, and we can't see you soon enough.
Thanks. Great to see you all. And definitely, if anybody can give even just a little bit, it means so much to these kids and their families, and just a great organization. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of it for all these years, and looking forward to many more opportunities.
Awesome. Well, I
Thank you,
appreciate it,
Steve.
Steve.
Yep.
Take
Thanks,
care,
Steve.
brother.
Guys.
All right. Wow, how cool is that? I mean, that guy has been there almost as long as, well, Dave's been around a long, long time, but going way back. And again, these people that don't have to do it, it's not part of their day-to-day jobs. It's been amazing. So, and we also have our next guest who has joined us. And again, we are a cavalcade of stars today. So I don't have to introduce her. Let me play a bit from one of our camps.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one-boy, cuddly toy, my up, my down, right and joy. People, let me tell you about him. He's so much fun. Whether we're talking man to man or whether we're talking sun to sun, 'cause he's my best friend. Yeah, he's my best friend.
Let's bring her online, Dave.
And there she is in all her glory. Dawn, it's so great to see you guys. Hi, little sweet pea. How are you?
Hi. You're so excited to see all
How
your
are you
friends.
guys doing today?
That's and Doug and Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all here.
And
Say hi, everybody. You're being shy. Here you are.
Hey, sweet pea.
It is so great to have you here. And
Shy.
so tell us a little bit about you guys have been a part of our camps for how many years now, Dawn?
So 2021 was our first year there. I advertised and checked it out, and I was like, wow, that sounds great. That sounds like something that P would want to be. And I remember, looking it up and signing up for it. And I was like, it doesn't cost anything. Okay, that's even better. And then when we showed up, I was just blown away there. I think not only register and show up, but she got a great, beautiful. We got free food. It was free food for all of us, for me and her dad, and a nice lunch. I mean, there's definitely, wings and burgers and the hot dogs and the chips all day. And then to be able to meet all players, like I was blown away that you guys were just doing that for us, that you were just giving that to the community like that. And because of that, like it wasn't, and I'm happy to share that, with other people who are interested in it, because so often we have so many we pay for our children, and in order to get them to have friends or in order to get them involved. So people, and be able to tell them, like, just come, just show up. Like, it's not going to cost you anything, and your kid's going to have a great. And I mean, for P, she loves it. She looks forward to it every summer, right? You like playing baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah. You learn all kinds of new skills, right? Yeah. You get to throw the ball, right?
And she's had
What was your
amazing
favorite
times.
part?
I'd say the wheelchair. Remember her wheelchair? That was an
Baseball
amazing
bat.
weekend, you know. And the base. Oh yeah, of course,
The
magic wheelchair. And then of course she got her specialized
wheelchair was the icing on the cake. And how she was blessed by that. I mean, that was phenomenal. And to really, it was like P Day at the park. It was just amazing.
And Dawn, how
Right?
important is it how important is it as a parent to try to give your children a little sense of normalcy so they fit in like just all the other kids do?
Oh my God, that is the most important thing. That is what for every single day. I like 4 older kids, we know what they were in, and I want that involved in. Shouldn't she have that? So, and where she is, it's a normal day for her hanging, her making new friends, all where they're down on their knees playing with her the whole time and taking pictures. And yeah, it's so important to us. Are we there?
Dave, your thoughts on how she's been at these camps? I mean, she just explodes with exuberance and fun. She's signing autographs. I mean, I have more fun watching her than I think she has.
It's okay.
And enthusiasm to the camps. And it's great to see. It really is. And especially the day you alluded to it, Dave, the day we had the magic wheelchair there. And I think that was one time that I saw Sweet Pea be a little bit speechless. Was because we were down on the field and she wasn't quite sure what was going on. And then all of a sudden, here's this wheelchair adorned with a canopy, and she's a princess. And then all of a sudden, it dawned on her, and little Sweet Pea was back, and the motor mouth was going again. So no, she brings a tremendous amount of enthusiasm, and it's great to see every time we're there.
And Doug is sitting around one day and he's like, hey, there's a Disney commercial with her in it. So this became an actual princess. I mean, how has your life changed with all of the gifts and the internet and all of the good things and the bad? But, all that, how much has life changed for little Sweet Pea?
It's changed a lot. I mean, if you know how her life began, orphanage in India, and now to see what her life is, it just blows me away. Like, that's just it. She's doing commercial Way of Dreams. She walked down modeling clothes. She's getting gifts from all over the world. She's cherished. I always knew that, but now everybody else sees that and knows that too. And it's just, it's unbelievable. And I couldn't be happy that she's getting and that she deserves. And yeah, the recognition.
With what you and Tom do, I mean, it's been great. And it's been, just an honor to have you guys be at the camp and, for us to develop that friendship. And I missed her this year at the camp, but I'll be there next year. And any parting shots as we on this Giving Tuesday, how important it is for people to help us out, to help you out.
Oh, I mean, this is a great organization, and I've seen you Doug, for sure, take money out of your own pocket and be that way. There's enough people that should be able to give back and donate, so that why shouldn't these kids have this day? And why shouldn't it be, expand all over, line up for this, and the way talk about it and the joy that comes from it, all that. I think if you're looking to be a part of something, the organization to do it for sure.
Well, thank you. And how can they find her on social media? We got to give that plug, because what you guys do every day, it lightens the world.
He is on Instagram and TikTok, and now we've added YouTube, and she LIL_Miss. So she's up there entertaining us all. Like this.
So Dave, I knew she was going to become a star, or the Daves, I guess, and Dawn. I knew she was going to become a star when I'm in LA. I went out to a track meet of my sons, and I'm in LA, and I'm checking into a hotel because I couldn't get out on the airport till the next day. And I tell the person at the counter, the young lady at the counter, what I do. And I told her I run sports camps for kids with disabilities. And I showed her some pictures of my phone, and one of them was Sweet Pea. And she about fainted. She looked at me and she goes, "Do you know her?" She didn't care about Dave and Dave, but she goes, "Do you know Sweet Pea?" And I go, "Well, yeah, she comes to our camp, and I've gotten to know her parents." And she treated me like VIP for the rest of the day. I got all the VIP stuff of a hotel, of a hotel guest, and certainly didn't pay for it, because thanks to P, I'm a celebrity, I guess, just by knowing her. And I tell people I'm her biggest fan. She came to the camp several years ago. Some of her pictures of competing and participating on the field are just so intense, and she just had so much fun. And obviously getting to know her parents has been just that cherry on the top as well. And so we're just thankful for you guys being a part of us.
All right. Well, Dawn, thank you, little Sweet Pea. Can you say bye-bye?
Bye, Sweet Pea.
Say bye. Say bye. Bye. Say thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody.
Bye,
thanks,
guys.
Dawn. Thank you, Dawn, for being a part of it. And again, that's just coming from the horse's mouth as far as the impact that these camps make. And I think, Dave, before we go to break, some of your thoughts about some of these kids that just come out of their shell because of the game of baseball.
Well, one that comes to mind right away is one of the very first camps we ever did right here in Fort Myers. And a camper named Billy came, and he really didn't want to be there. It was pretty evident when we broke up and went into our different groups. He went over and he sat up against the wall on the bullpen side of the left field, and folded his arms in a defiant stance, and just wasn't going to do anything. And I remember his mom and dad came up and said, is there anything we could do? Well, I didn't really know what to do there, but I went out to a group of the professional players, and I just said, who's outgoing here? Who's a leader? And they all pointed to this one guy. And that one guy happened to be Ben Revere. And so I said, well, follow me, come over here. And I explained to him we had this camper that really wasn't participating in any of the groups. And we wanted to try to get him going and get him involved a little bit. So Ben went about, 20, 30 feet out in front of him, and he sat down just like Billy was sitting, kind of Indian style. And Ben rolled a baseball to him, and Billy just watched it roll by and hit the wall behind him. And Ben rolled him another one. Billy watched it roll by, hit the wall. Ben threw another one. He did that 4, 5, 6 times. And finally, he rolled one that Billy quickly stuck his hand out and grabbed it and rolled it back to Ben. And all of a sudden, they were rolling the ball back and forth, back and forth. And next thing I know, Billy's standing up, and he's getting involved in the groups now, and Billy's come for 17. He may have been 7 or 8 back then, and he. The moral of that story is that Ben and he are still in touch with each other, and Ben invited him and his family to their wedding, to Ben's wedding, and those are the kind of relationships, and we have a lot of stories like that the players get impacted as well as the participants, and it's and the caregivers and parents, and it's really a 3 or 4 way street. That's just one, as I said, one of the stories that we could tell and go on and on and on.
Well, we've got a lot more stories. And again, the QR code is over here. If you click on that, take that old cell phone out, it'll take you right to any donation. We really need your help because we can't expand. We can't continue because this does come out of our pockets. We have bills to pay and these teams do help us. But again, there's food, there's products, there's all kinds of costs, t-shirts, everything like that. So anything you can do, $5, $10, $2,000, whatever you can do. We appreciate it. And we're going to come back with a couple of guests, a former major leaguer and a current minor league manager. So you're watching the D3Day Giving Tuesday. Don't go away.
Hi again, everybody. Dave Stevens sitting here at the home of the Hudson Valley Renegades, part of our D3Day family over the years. And, you know, we put on some amazing camps in Florida, Connecticut, and, of course, in New York. And we're continuing to do that, but we need your help and your support. For more information, visit d3day.com or pullingeachatheralong.com. You can support us, donate us, check out our merchandise, and help us out. So continue to be a fan of our D3Day camps, and we'll see you on the road.
All right, welcome back. And Dave Clark, you're too big there, right? You got too much of you on the screen. But hey, we've got a double header here. So let me just introduce a former member of our camps, a former major leaguer who played for the Orioles and played for the Dodgers. And he started out as a Minnesota Twin. Jake Reed joining us. So Jake, thank you, coming to us from San Diego, California. And right next to him is Greg Brzezinski, who is a current manager in the minor leagues. And again, he had the opportunity, and Doug loves to tell this story. He was the opposing manager. We had our camp going on in Hudson Valley, and he said, hey, I want to be a part of this. So, Doug, I'm going to kind of let you guide this because you've known these guys the longest. And Jake and Greg, thanks for being a part of this D3Day Giving Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely. These are some of the stories that I love because we get a situation where Jake, I think he tagged with us several times, and you know, we meet a lot of the professional players, but it's very difficult for us to actually connect with them afterward. And it sounds like he's got his daddy duty today too, which I appreciate, being an empty nester for the first time in 34 years with 7 kids to blow everybody's mind here. But Jake, man, you know, you've been a great part of it, and then, you know, he would be one of the last guys to leave, the first guys to show up. And that's, I wanted to say that about Doug Mikavich as well, because he was on earlier, and Doug would be the first one there and the last one to leave. And then Greg, what you did last year as finding out about our camp, probably that day or the night before, and then showing up as the opposing manager to participate. And one of my, you know, visions for D3Day, and I think, and Jake, I probably could ask you this question, I think it would be really super cool, is that we actually want to have both teams represented on our field on that Saturday morning. I know it's a big commitment. You guys are traveling, you're tired, you played the night before. But as a dream, I think the players would love it if we got actually players from both sides. And in this today of world of, you know, maybe not having such huge rivalries as actually something good to work together with. And I think that would be super cool. So I don't know if we start with Jake or start with Greg, but Jake's the daddy today, and he's up the earliest. So Jake, if you don't mind just sharing your experience, you know, with D3Day and being a part of us.
Yeah, sorry, let me get outside here.
He's a first-time daddy, so it's all good.
Yeah. No, I think, man, where did I meet you guys first, in Fort Myers or in Rochester?
I think so. You know, we were in Fort Myers. You probably were there, and then later in Rochester.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That picture's
Yeah.
in Rochester there. You're in that
That's in
picture.
Rochester, yeah. I think it may have been Rochester, but I had, got connected with the local Miracle League there in Rochester, New York, and had started to kind of form some relationships with that league and some of the kids just local to Rochester. And then, yeah, when we heard, you guys were coming to town, I was super excited to get to just, be a part of it and do whatever, you guys needed help with from the players standpoint. But it was, just, the camp and what you guys do is always, one of the better days of the year. I think you mentioned, it might be early in the morning or whatever all the, excuses are, but, from a selfish, point of view, like it really is one of those days that just kind of, just blesses you so much as a player. We focus so much on ourselves and our careers and, just our day-to-days as professional ball players, but, getting to kind of take a step back and get to see these kids who just love the game, who just, because they love it, it's fun for them, and to get out there on the field and run around and just have a great time and get to be a small part of that it's just such a just a blessing for me, and for the guys that have gotten to be a part of it. And so, I think that would be awesome too. I think anybody would be out of their minds not to want to be a part of that, as the
Oops.
Oh, that was abrupt. His son probably hit the button.
There we go. Sorry about
There
that.
he's
There we go.
back.
That's all right. I
Sorry.
love technology. All right.
Back,
Well,
Jake.
he's
Yeah.
back. And hey, Greg, your thoughts again. We haven't really had the they kind of show up and they're kind of getting ready and they're like looking at what the hell's going on the field with all these kids and everything like that. So, what were your thoughts and what made you want to go over to Doug and say, hey, I need to be a part of it?
Well, yeah, first of all, great to see everybody. Obviously, Doug, Dave, and meeting Dave for the first time. It was an awesome, actually. I got a 1-year-old too. He's running around somewhere. But
Sweet.
no, it was an amazing experience, and finding out that was going on, it made me excited. I have an older brother who has Down syndrome. So this, I've been part of the Special Olympics and different events and different groups and all kinds of things with people with special needs my whole life. And so it's something that I'm always searching for, something I always want to be part of. I had never obviously heard of D3 at that point. And I'm really excited I did because, it's something I think we can expand on, over in Jersey Shore. We've done something the last 2 years with just the local groups and communities that they have with individuals with special needs and just bringing them in, once or every other month or something like that. And we just have a fun day with the players. But the way that, D3 went about that day and how interactive it was having the whole Hudson Valley Renegades team there, it was really special. And when I heard about it, it was the day before because I was chatting with their manager who does a really good job. He's a great individual. And he said that they were doing that in the morning. I think I might have asked for, someone wanted to hit early or something on the field. And he's like, well, we actually have this thing on. And once he explained to me what was happening, I couldn't have been more excited to be a part of it. And I was, obviously Doug and Dave welcomed me with open arms. And I was really happy to be, even though you're the opposing team, like what you're saying, if you can get both teams to do it anytime, it's either a Miracle League or something at a stadium or different things we've done in the past, the more participation you have from the teams that are there, it's even more special. And, it's not, natural for a lot of guys, or some guys just never been around different gatherings or days or events like that. But, for me and growing up with my brother, it's something that I always constantly want to give back. Anytime, once he heard that I went to it, he was upset. I didn't let him know that it was happening because he would have come, because my parents, they live a little bit away, but they come in when we have ours at home. And so he can be a part of it. And it's just something that now hopefully I can help expand on, being part of this, this day was really special. I'm glad that Doug reached out, and it's something I'd love to be part of in the future.
And Jake, tell me from a player's perspective, because Doug touched on it earlier, your former manager down in Fort Myers. Almost sometimes the players get more out of it because they're exposed to something they're not used to, the uncomfortability. And then once they break that ice and the elephant's out of the room, they're just kids playing baseball with bigger kids playing baseball.
Yeah, no, I think, like I said, kind of, I always felt like I got more out of it than maybe they did. And, not to sound selfish or not to sound like you're using like an event like that to help yourself, but it was just a reality that we get so lost and kind of caught up in just the competition and the business and the difficult side of baseball and feeling sorry for yourself sometimes when you're struggling and all of the things that you go through as an athlete or just as a human being. And then you get to go to something like that, be around the kids, and just see that how much they love the game and how much fun that they're having at these events. And it really kind of puts things back into perspective. And I always remember like the game after that. And then, a week following or so, like you just feel a little bit lighter on your feet and coming to the field is a little bit easier, more enjoyable. And then, specifically for the teams that are like in your, when you have, say you're in Rochester and you have the D3Day in Rochester, those kids are continuing to come back to the games throughout the year. And so when you form a relationship at that event, and then you remember their names and they remember your names and you continue to see them in the stands and get to talk to them and have a continued relationship. That's when it gets really special, when it's not just, a single event, but you really invest in that community in whatever city you're in. And so for me, it was like, and then just, I did whatever I could to want to share that with other players, especially with guys who were, struggling and, we're kicking themselves a little bit and, I'm like, just come out to this. I know, I know you want to sleep in. I know you want to maintain your routine and stuff, but just come and give it a try. And every single time, man, these guys were so thankful for getting to be a part of that. So it's a massive impact on players. And from that kind of perspective, I would definitely make it mandatory, because it's not just about like doing the right thing. It's also about like, I think this is actually going to help us as a team by getting out here and getting our guys around these kids.
That's a great perspective. And Doug, I know we've seen a lot of these players get to the major leagues and then we see them come back and talk to us like Dominic and Jake and all these great players and Doug. And I think what Dave and you are doing, that's why we're doing this Giving Tuesday, because we give so much, but it does cost us. And I'm going to keep reminding, there's that QR code right in the upper corner. You got to click on that. If you're not technically enough like Dave or I, then just go to d3day.com and we'll take your money. It'll go right there. And again, all of what you donate goes right back into the camps, for the food, for the equipment, for the hats, for the shirts, for all the things that Dave has said. We will always make these camps for free. And I so thank, Jake, for being a part of this and taking time out. And Greg, I mean, what did you think, Greg? You've dealt all your life with a brother who has Down syndrome, and most of us aren't allowed to play sports or go do things that everybody else does. We have special things. So how important is that for somebody that has a disability to just go out and feel normal?
And I think it's huge. And one thing that I think has been like, kind of like Jake said, like, I'm a better person. And I know I learned so much from my brother Pete, just by him being my brother. And he never has a bad day. He wakes up and a lot of times there's, everything's kind of could be going against him, everything, he could complain about pretty much anything, and he doesn't every single day. So when you have these events, or, you get to be around other, individuals that have some kind of disability or special needs, and you can kind of take a step back and be like, hey, like whatever I've been going through, whatever I've been feeling, baseball is a hard game. So I think it's great for those guys to get out there and be like, hey, it's really not that bad. A lot of times there's a lot of other people dealing with things that are a lot more difficult, that are real things in their life that they got to wake up with every morning and kind of have a disadvantage on compared to everybody else. But I think events like this, Special Olympics, different, I know my brother, he has, he does more than anybody I know. He has baking class once a week. He goes to acting class. He's in 2 bowling leagues. He used to play Special Olympics basketball. So like every time I talk to him, he's doing something different, which which is great because anybody, no matter, whether you're a perfectly healthy human being or you have, some kind of disability, you just want to feel normal and you want to be part of a group and you want to be accepted, and things like D3, things like, the Special Olympics, things like I got to do with my brother, like not only was awesome for him, but it was also awesome for me. And Jake did touch on that, and where, when you put everybody in a setting like that and it's a big group and you're all just having fun doing the same things, it doesn't matter who you are or what you got going on or how different you may seem. It's like everybody's out there having fun and doing whatever activity it is. And that's what I liked about D3 is that there was different stations set up. Everybody was engaged. Everybody was involved. Everybody was having fun. And it just a lot of times not only makes, the day special, but the individuals talk about that for the rest of the year until they do it again. Or, my brother, once he finishes one thing, he can't wait till he gets to do it again. So, whether it's an event like D3, and then as soon as that one finishes up the next day, he's like, hey, we got 75 more days to the next one. And he'll let you know every day out leading up to that because it's important and it matters. And, things like that are really, really special. And I'm just happy I get to be a part of it. I think, I'm a better person every single day because of it. And I've learned more from my brother than I think I could express on here, just in terms of the type of human he is, the person he is, and how we should just really cherish every day and no matter what our situation is.
Thanks. That's just beautiful. And Jake, before we let you go, and your beautiful wife, who is a softball legend, and we didn't even get a chance to delve into that, but I know you guys want us out in San Diego, and we'd love to be a part of it. But tell us what you've done since you've retired from baseball, because you're also making an impact in the lives of youth.
Yeah, I retired after the 23 season. We were both. My wife retired after the 21 Olympics. So she followed me around for the last couple of years of my career. And then we were both kind of in that transition, trying to figure out what to do. And an opportunity with a facility about 10 minutes away from our house popped open. So baseball and softball kind of batting cages and training facility opened up. And so we took that over and bought that in May. And, even throughout that process of kind of leading up to buying it, when we knew we were going to, I'd already kind of started thinking of you guys and just how much I don't miss much about playing. I certainly miss the connections that I had, specifically in Rochester. It was AAA for the Twins, and that was, I got to do a lot of cool things in baseball, but I truly look back at my career now, and that was like the most special time for me, is being in AAA with them, just because of the relationships that I had there in Rochester, specifically with the Miracle League and Ron and you guys with D3Day. It was just a really cool community, and I miss that. I think being out of baseball, it made it a little bit more difficult to connect with that community, and so we really missed it. So thinking of you guys right away and just trying to figure out how we could get something going out here in San Diego. There's a great Miracle League, but it's I don't know, about 20 miles north of us, and then there's another one that just is starting really close to us, which is great. We just had a Challenger League out to our facility last Saturday. Actually, we had a few kids from El Cajon Western come out and just get to hit, and it's the best, And so really trying to figure out ways to get connected with that community a little bit more here. And man, it'd be really cool to get you guys out here in San Diego. I'm sure none of you guys would object to this weather any time of the year, really. But yeah, I mean, we're hoping to make that happen. We've been really busy, so it's been difficult to kind of, necessarily plan anything. We're still very new into the business side, but we are certainly hopeful and doing whatever we can to get you guys out here.
What's the website for your place?
It's called the clubhouseusa.com.
Awesome. And Ron is on here. He just jumped on, our last two guests joining us. Ron, you want to get a parting shot to Jake?
Jake, you had to rub it in with the weather. I mean, I won't even show you. I got to get out and shovel the driveway. So, but it's great to see you. And there are still Challenger kids. I call them kids, but they still talk about Jake Reed, and I'll be very honest with you. That was one of the most memorable summers when you were here. The few summers you were here, just to have you coming out and pitching to the kids. Although my regular pitcher would get a little upset because you took his job away, but he understood. But I still have pictures around up at the field with you with the kids, and I mean, memories, man. Those are great memories that I'll cherish, as well as many of the players. You got your buddy Anthony, who still, I think he still kind of keeps in contact with you, but it's great. So
yeah. Thank you, Ron.
All right. Well, Jake and Greg, thank you guys for being a part of this. And again, you can go to the QR code that's in the upper corner. You can go to d3day.com. Make sure you go to Jake's website if you're out in the San Diego area, or drive up from LA. It's not that far. You can go over there. He's got some good equipment, and he's got a great wife who was an Olympian, and this guy played in the major leagues. So thank you, Jake and Greg. We hope to see you and get a camp with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me be a part of this. And Jake, I'd love to connect with you at some point if I ever get out that way. But you guys do a really good job, and I really was just fortunate to be there that week, and I'm glad I got to be a part of it. Now, creating the relationship with Doug and Dave, whatever you guys need, just reach out, and hopefully, we'll be able to set something up at my home ballpark this year and get you guys out like at any point. So just be in touch, and this is a great event, and anything I can do to help, I appreciate you guys.
Dave or Doug,
Greg.
Parting shots to Jake and Greg?
Yeah, I mean, these are two.
Thanks, Jake and Greg,
Okay,
for being on. Great to see you guys, and hopefully we can work out something to get to both of your locales, because the more of these we can do, the more we impact.
Yeah. Thank you.
Doug?
Yeah, and I just wanted to say these are two of the many camps that we have available to us in 2025 as we're coming out of this extreme difference of COVID made for us. We're back and running again, and we have this great engine. We just need some more fuel, and really that's what today's about. Is the Giving Tuesday, so that we can do more of what you see on the screen right now, and impacting these lives. And one thing that these guys, I think they get a feel for. And we really haven't brought up, but I get to introduce the two Daves that are on this show, and we get to introduce those to the families, and their stories are so inspirational, as you can see on our pictures of Dave Stevens, 3-sport athlete, 7-time Emmy Award winner with Born with No Legs, and Dave Clark, polio survivor, who's the only professional baseball player to have, and he had a lengthy career playing minor league baseball from his crutches. Played in the Swedish major leagues, and he's the only owner the only living owner of a Negro League franchise, the Indianapolis Clowns. So there's so much to introduce of these guys' successes that we can share with these families, so that they're inspired, and with that whole explore potential theme that we've created. We want to allow these children and young adults to have explore potential. And so we've got two events right here. We've got one of the managers, the former player that's been a part of us, and they're wanting us to do more events. And we basically we just need funding. And so we've got that little QR code for some funding, but we can, there's bigger opportunities for funding as well. So I just want to thank you guys for coming on and sharing all those thoughts with us.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, guys.
All right, Jake.
Thank you guys. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys later. And again, thank you for joining us. All right.
See ya.
So
Be in touch.
two really awesome people there to take their time, and we've brought even more awesome people. So Ron has already been introduced. Ron is been a part of us for how many camps, Ron, have we done now with you? 3, 4?
At Miracle Field, 3, and then you were at Frontier Field previous to that. That's where I met you guys, I think, back in when Jake was playing, actually. So I lose track, but it's been great.
And we see some of the results when we get the Redmond to come over with us up there in Rochester, and they've been a part of that. And also joining us is a guy who has really helped us with equipment. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, but he is joining us. And Brendan, thank you so much.
Let me introduce Brendan.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
Dave Stevens, because Brendan and I go like way, way, way back when D3Day was just the thought. Dave Clark, when I left the Merrill Lynch world and Dave Clark and I partnered, I was like, okay, what do we do? And Dave said he wanted to do more sports camps for kids with challenges and limitations. And so I started putting things together. I started sharing his story. Many of you know this story. If you don't, it's our children's book story that comes from A Pound of Kindness, the children's book that I wrote. One of the most special stories that I'm aware of. Of course, I'm a little biased, but I had gotten to know Brandon, and we needed a logo. So I told him our story, and he got to know our story of Dave being pulled in a wagon and rescued in first grade, which is a very touching story if you haven't heard it. And in baseball, and he put together our logo. Now it's not quite as recognizable as the swoosh yet. We want to get there, but he did that when I had no budget really, and he did it pro bono. I think I paid him a little bit of money later on. I just said, hey, when we had some funds, I threw him some money that a logo would be worth, and we have used that wagon logo now on just about everything that we do. And he did that in college. Now we circle back. He's had a very successful business run. He loves baseball, and he started this company selling baseball bats, and they've expanded in a huge way. They personalize bats. They're selling stinger bats all over the country now, and so it's very cool that this relationship cycled to not just somebody that did my logo, but now as a sponsor, a financial sponsor of us, and helping fuel these camps. And so I'm so appreciative of Brandon. So Brandon, welcome, and I'll let you take it back over, Dave Stevens. Or Brandon. Let me give you your
Brandon,
thoughts.
Brandon, what made you want to get involved with D3Day initially? I know, and again, great products. We've had the chance to see them and stuff, and you created that special bat. We've shown it a couple times with little Sweet Pea that she got that part of her weekend, and but those bats, they're exploding around. And so tell us, what's the origin behind you and D3Day?
Yeah, I think my initial attachment was Dave's story. When I was in college, I went to Corning Community College. That's when I met Doug, and I was playing baseball there. And my coach at the time, he showed us a video, about the story and everything, and it just really inspired me. And so when I heard about the pulling each other along, and that whole thing really was just my drive to want to contribute in any way that I could. And luckily I was able to do that and put something down that both Dave and Doug liked and still use, which I think is awesome. So that was my initial thing. And then just my continued involvement is, obviously love sports, baseball, specifically have played my entire life. I still play. It's really an even bigger part of my life now that I started Stinger Sports back in 2015, and have grown this business. But I just think that so many life lessons are learned from sports, and it's been such a huge part of my life that anything that I can do to help to give more people an opportunity to experience the joys of getting a hit, or throwing a ball, or just anything that playing a sport just delivers to your soul and feeds your soul with, that I've had my whole life. Like, if we can do something to give more people an opportunity to experience those things, then amen.
And that's Ron, that's what you do. I mean, it's been a labor of love to get that field created. Yeah. And it's our only field that we do a D3Day camp that is adaptive. And now we've grown so much, there's almost not enough room for us to have a camp there. So tell us a little bit about that origin for you.
Well, this is just, everything grew organically. Like, I started the program 25 years ago with like 30 kids. And then 10 years ago, 2014, we had this idea to build this adaptive ball field, knew nothing about raising money or whatever, but what fueled everything was just all these wonderful kids and athletes. And I think about things way ahead of time, way ahead, like, what can we do there to make it even better, events. And then I know with the workings of the Rochester Red Wings and Frontier Field, so let's just try it here, try it at our field. And you know what? If we outgrow, we do 2 sessions. I don't know. It's just, what we had one year, I think 85, 90 kids. And yeah, it's a little smaller, but did you see anybody complain about the day? I didn't see one kid not smiling or parent or whatever. So hey, we make it work, and it's worked, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it, and I look for. We do a lot of events, but that is my favorite event of the year.
I think Rochester is one of Dave's favorite places too, right, Dave?
Absolutely.
Well, not now, not right now. He wouldn't think.
Not right now. No, not right now. I can.
No.
I'll take where I'm at right now, hands down. So.
Well, we'll just make sure that when Dave comes next year, that he brings an extra set of keys for his wheelchair.
Oh my gosh. and
know,
3 layers of sweatshirts.
It
even
does
in June.
seem that every time we do the camp up there at the Miracle Field, it's like 50 degrees with a light rain coming down.
Oh, that's right. We had one day of inclement weather, and it had to be the day you came. And the year before that, I think we were like at 40 degrees. So but
yeah.
thank God there's there's a Walmart nearby. You can go buy sweatshirts and coats. But it's just a great time. It's so you guys, everything flows, and then of course I always call it organized chaos, but you seem to be a little more organized than I am when I'm doing events. It's just like I said, you don't see one unhappy face there. They're just they're happy. They're dreaming and doing. I mean, it's a great event.
And Brendan, what's the feeling? I mean, you're not in this to get any accolades or anything like that, but the things that you do, the impact that you do, the donations that you make does really change lives. I mean, how does it feel knowing you are making kids have a normal day of baseball?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels great. I mean, like I said before, being able to play the game my entire life and really just taking a step back and not taking that for granted, and being able to do even in a small part to help to give more kids an opportunity to experience that, I think is it definitely, it's something that feeds my soul too. So even just watching here, cycling through these pictures that you're putting up there, I mean, it's just, that's what it's all about right there. The joy that these kids are feeling is, can't describe it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. And again, I got to remind people the reason that we're here, it is Giving Tuesday, and we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing without your help. And that's what we're trying to do here with this Giving Tuesday. So this QR code right above me, I've moved, but it's right here. Click on that, takes you right $5, $10, $1, whatever it is. It buys a ball, it buys a bat, it buys a hat, it buys food, it buys lunch. It gives us, sometimes we have to pay for the fields that we're on. But we can't do that, and we can't grow and expand unless we have people like Brendan and Jake and all the people that you've seen in this show with so much love. And so again, go to d3day.com or click on the QR code. This thing is going to run perpetually on all social media. So if somebody in your family or friend missed it, say, hey, check out this broadcast that we did today for the D3Day guys. And, that's all we can do is ask. We're not going anywhere. We will do these things. If I have to sell my legs that are in the closet and get some money out of that, I'll do whatever it's going to take. But we really love what we're doing. And, I've been involved with this organization for about 8 or 9 years, and it has changed my life. I don't thank Dave and Doug enough for allowing me to do it. And as our guest earlier said, with a kid with Down syndrome doesn't get those opportunities. I didn't have any of those opportunities as a kid. That's why Dave and I played able-bodied sports. There were no adaptive. We didn't have a choice. So these kids, they have a future thanks to Doug and Dave and everybody on this screen and has been a part of the show because of the love that they have. So we just hope that we can continue to make a difference, make an impact. And with your love and support, we'll keep doing it. Right, Doug and Dave?
Absolutely.
That's the plan.
As long as we can.
As long as we can. And hopefully, the vision of this is actually to raise so much more money that we can keep this going, long past our existences. Because really it's the legendary stories of what you two, Dave and Dave, and others that are in our book pulling each other along, have inspired. And we're getting those stories out so that families and parents like me who have children that were born with some differences. My son Gideon was born with neither arm developed, and then I got to learn about Dave's story and got to hear his stories from a personal standpoint, and let that leash loose, as Dave says, and not have your child so bound up. And I've had to let Gideon do what he wants to do, and Gideon has dreamed, and Gideon has been a big part of fundraising for us, and all of the things that he's
Hi,
helped us
everybody.
with
Dave
as
Stevens
he's
here.
journeyed
As
on
we
his
wrap
path. We want others to be able to hear the stories of Dave and Dave and other great stories that we're in contact with, so that their parents, their caregivers don't hold them back, and let them actually explore their potential and their own dreams and see how far they can take it. And that's really the messaging that we do. And your stories, I hope, will go way beyond any stories. I mean, you two really belong in the Hall of Fame. Not just the D3Day Hall of Fame that we're launching, but the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame. You two should be in there. And I know, Dave Clark, you have some mentions in there because of your ownership with the Indianapolis Clowns, but you personally should. You two are Hall of Famers of what you did in the game of baseball way before anybody else did it. And Brandon, thanks again for your long-standing friendship, sponsorship. Just, and Ron, you've been both too. You've been a participant, but also your organization has helped sponsor us as well, and partner with us and contribute. And we just can't do it without those things. And so we're very, very grateful for so many. We're in that situation though right now. We have a lot more camps to fund than we have funding. We have one big camp in San Jose that's fully funded. The rest of them are only partially funded. And
Doug,
we
you got
want
some props? You got some props because we do have books that people can buy
Yeah,
online.
so one of the things, if this will inspire anybody to give some extra, I've got our Pound of Kindness book that we have. If you're not familiar with this story, it's one of the greatest true stories of a child with limitations. Dave Clark's the main character over here. Ernie Pound, his friend from first grade that got reunited 45 years after this event and act took place. But if you want a whole box of these and you contribute at least $350, I will send you a whole box, and then you can spread kindness away to everyone. So that's just one little offer that we have. We do have 3 books. Also, we have Dave's book, A Diamond in the Rough, and the Pulling Each Other Along book, which is like a chicken soup for the soul. And if you want to get all 3 books, if you do a contribution of at least 50 or really $75 will help pay for all the shipping as well. We'll make sure that you get 3 of those books. And if you want to reach out to me with some more of those kind of things, feel very well. You feel like you can just reach out to me either through Facebook, or LinkedIn is a really good place to get me if you're a business person, because I'm like the only Doug Cornfield in the world, other than my son who's a junior, but he's not on LinkedIn yet.
Well, it's been great to have you guys here. And again, one more call for that QR code that's over Dave's face, I think, this time. But we are so excited to continue to do these things. And again, thank you for everybody that's been a part of this. Ron, do you have any final thoughts before we let you go? And then I'll throw it to Brendan.
I can't wait for the good weather, and we're shooting for June 8th to have our event, and keep doing the good work. It's great. I love it. I love being part of it.
I'll mark it on my calendar. And again, Brendan, thank you so much for what you do for us. Your final thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to encourage anybody that's watching here that's kind of on the fence about contributing. These guys, they do an amazing job. They give so many people an opportunity to experience things that we take it for granted every day, and just being able to participate in sports and being able to create friendships and bonds, and it's something that these kids and these people they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. So I would say that scan that QR code and contribute so that these guys can continue to make a difference.
And speaking of friendships and bonds, the 3 of us are going to continue this off season to grow and expand. And again, with your guys' help, everybody out there, we can continue to this beautiful, beautiful thing that Dave Clark started so many years ago. And we want to keep it going perpetually for as long as I'm around and you're around and everything. Dave, your final thoughts?
I think Jake hit it on the head when he was alluding. As a professional baseball player, you get you get into a routine and you kind of take things for granted. One of the things that, that I always said, I started these back in the 70s. The seeds were laid. And I think one of the things that really inspired me to continue doing it was just the looks and the genuine enthusiasm that you saw when these people got down on the field. And it brought you back to your youth and why you started playing sports in the first place. Just pure, unadulterated joy. That's why we all started playing in the first place. We loved it. And some of that innocence goes away as you get older and you move on up that ladder in baseball. Some of that innocence goes away, and that brought it all back to me. The just the thrill of getting on the field and competing just brought back those days when I was 8 years old in Corning, New York, over on the Cinder Diamond, we called it, and playing the game because you loved it, not for any other reason.
And I've enjoyed my memories of taking a child who doesn't have sight around the bases, and Lily comes every year to play, and teaching a child to catch the ball for the first time. And again, watching Doug create these events and putting so much time, being away from his family, being on the road. I mean, Doug, is it all worth it?
I left the Merrill Lynch office 10 years ago, or more than that now, 14 years ago. And I don't make the kind of money I was making when I was at Merrill Lynch. And it's been a struggle at times. But I can tell you what, I wouldn't change it. And the only thing I would change is that we can take this that we've created. We were on a huge roll up until 2020. Things changed for us. I tell people we started crawling to survive. This year, I think we were walking again, and now it's time to get running again. And we need people to join with us to get us back in running again on full go, and we're asking for your support and your help, and that's really so it has been worth it. I wouldn't change a thing.
All right, well, there's still chances for you guys to donate. That QR code, it does work. Doug, I want to thank you. Dave, I want to thank you. Ron, I want to thank you so much. And again, Brandon, thanks for being a new part of this family. We can't do it without your continued support, so thank everybody here and thank everyone out there. We have put together what we thought would help motivate and inspire you. And again, $5, $10, $2,000. We'll kick in appearances to come speak at your schools or your businesses. You can talk to Doug and negotiate all those kind of things, because we do have the greatest sports stories never heard. And we did ours before the internet, but you can check out Dave's clips on the internet. You can see when I played for the Saints in the Netflix movie, Saint of Second Chances. And again, we'll be on the road somewhere, hopefully in a city near you. And if we don't have a camp there, well, reach out to your local team and say, hey, we want one of these, right?
Absolutely.
Great.
All right, guys. Well, for Doug, Dave, Ron, Jake, Dawn, Doug, Steve, Brandon, everybody that's been a part of this, we want to thank you and appreciate your continued success. Brady Bunch wave, everybody. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Follow us at D3Day.com. Support us on all social media platforms. Like and share. And hey, we'll be at it again next year. Until next baseball season, Dave, we'll see you.
Take it easy.
Thank you.